What's going on, everybody? Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful Friday Eve. What we're going to be talking about today is how to trademark a word or a phrase. Now, this is something that's very important and dear to me because I've actually done this. So, I'll be taking you through my step-by-step process, showing you some examples of some trademark infringement. But the reason why I want to talk about this today is because this is something that a lot of people keep saying, hey, I want to start my business. I have a grand business idea and I'm sharing it. And then they realize that somebody went on and already trademarked their name and they feel so upset about it. But one of the things is that I feel as though we have that opportunity to go on and change that around. So I want to make sure that you're confident in everything that you do so that you have the best opportunity to create and continue on to be the best at what you do without somebody trying to steal it and put their name on something that you work hard for. So this is what we're going to be diving into on the About That Water podcast. Hold tight, gotta get these bills paid. You're listening to the About That Water podcast. We'll be right back after these messages.
Little credit score dragging you down? Score Boost by Smart Credit helps you maximize your score by showing you exactly how much you need to pay off and by which date to gain the most points. Pay less and gain the most points the fastest. And you can start just for $1. Click the link in the bio, save thousands. Don't wait.
Even the best and the brightest this world has to offer have coaches and mentors. Build strong money-making behaviors by applying financial concepts and strategies with Anthony Weaver on the About That Water Show. It's time to get off the bench and get in the game. Now, here's your host, Anthony Weaver.
What up? So, hopefully everybody is having a great time. I found a nice, lovely news article that I thought would help understand the importance of actually having a trademark. And this is from CNN talking about the Supreme Court Justice draws laughs during a hearing on Jack Daniels trademark infringement. All right. So we gotta say what's up to the people that are in the chat right now. What's going on, JT Coins? What's going on, sir? Hopefully you're having a good time out there. You know what I'm saying? Get you some rings because you are the ring man. Let's see. You say you're doing good. Hope the same for you and yours. Yep. Everything is doing well, sir. Taking it one day at a time, trying to make sure I continue on to help the person or anybody that's listening to help them take themselves to that next level. So with that being said, we got to understand now that it is the best time to start thinking about these trademarks. There's so many out there. And actually, I'm going to go through how do you actually file for one, because I have one myself. I want to talk to you about the different classes that are out there. That's very important. The fees that are in there. Do you really need a trademark attorney? I've been there. Didn't work out too well. And also talk about the way that you need to actually maintain these. So let's go on and get to this news segment that I thought was pretty helpful and kind of funny to kind of get an understanding of the importance of having a trademark. So let's get to it.
Now to our booze news. Well done.
Late night on CNN.
If you're a regular viewer of CNN Tonight, you know we bring you the latest Jack Daniels news. Exclusively. And tonight is no different. But this time it involves the Supreme Court. Lawyers for the whiskey maker Jack Daniels are suing the makers of a doggy chew toy called Bad Spaniels, claiming the chew toy, we also have sound effects, claiming the chew toy violates their trademark. For some reason, the Supreme Court justices found this funny.
To it. What is the parody here?
The parody?
Yeah.
The parody is...
Because maybe I just have no sense of humor, but... What's the parody?
The parody is multifold, but the testimony indicates, and it's not been disputed, that the parody is to make fun of marks that take themselves seriously.
Well, I mean, you say that, but you know, you make fun of a lot of marks. Doggy Walker, Dos Perros, Smella Arpa, Canine Cola, Mountain Drool. Are all of these companies taking themselves too seriously?
Yeah, yes.
All right, so here are the products. So I'm sure you all recognize Jack Daniels.
I've never seen that. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've been out with you. And then a chew toy looks like this. So do you think, Essie, this is violating this is trademark?
Yes, and I don't want to be the wet blanket on this panel because this is funny, but trademark law is really important and it protects IP. And I think absolutely they are trying to parody a brand, but
Just for term's sake, when they say IP, they are talking about intellectual property.
in the process, I think they're damaging the brand, and that is the argument.
Van?
Listen, if the parody doesn't damage the brand a little bit, it's not a good parody. That's the whole point of parody, and that's why you have the exception for parody. So I think look.
Well, that's what they're considering.
I don't
this
drink.
exception for parody.
I don't drink alcohol, and I don't have a dog, so this really doesn't apply to me. But I just think in general that chill out.
So I want to bring up this thing so that you all can understand what they mean by intellectual property. So IP is a legal category of intangible creations of the mind, such as inventions, designs, literary and artistic works, symbols, names, and images used in commerce. And the most well-known terms of IP are patents, copyrights, trademarks, and trade secrets. The reason why I want to bring out the definitions of this because I want to make sure that you're fully educated when you're hearing these terms just flying around without any true context.
Unless you can prove that you lost some sales, then
well, here maybe this will change your thinking. Moshe, I'll put this to you. It says Jack Daniels product is 40% alcohol by volume. Bad Spaniel's toy is said to be 43% poo. Now do you want to rethink that?
Yeah, that's so wrong.
I stand by my.
You know what I found so interesting about this? Well, first of all, one of the only good things that came out of COVID was that we have now audio live stream from the Supreme Court. So we're able to listen in on these people. Now, the day probably will never come that we have video of them.
Hopefully not.
Because that'll just change how the Supreme Court acts and they'll be acting for the camera, et cetera. But it's great to be able to hear them and you're like, oh, these are the people making important decisions. What was also very fascinating in this time of a 6-3 conservative liberal split and left, right, et cetera, was you had a couple interesting alliances in terms of the discussions. You had Alito and Sotomayor, who were very much on your take, being like, come on, really, Jack Daniels, seriously? And then you had Gorsuch and Kagan, who are like, we don't want to get involved in this.
Oh.
Well, more like SE, but like, can we kick this to a lower court? But you had these interesting conservative liberal matchups that you could hear in their tone, not just the transcript. And so it's hard to predict how this will go, but it seemed like, I don't know, generally speaking, I'll be surprised by if SE's ruling comes into effect.
I totally agree that it was interesting to hear them because we got to hear some Supreme Court humor there. Yeah. They were really yucking it up, Congressman.
So first off, one owner of a dog named Baxter tells me that they received this chew toy specifically and the dog hated it. I thought that was it's an important data point. Secondly, I would agree with Essie on the legal analysis. It's a lot of work to go through. You go the trademark. There's a reason why we have this trademark law in place. There is an impact on the brand. And I think that Jack Daniels will likely be successful. We'll see where it goes.
I mean, guys, obviously, if we're going to talk any more about this, we really would have to do a deeper dive and do some research.
I agree too.
Research into the product.
Let me know if y'all want to drink with me.
I will be following the story.
We should tell everyone that's actually the second bottle for the night for us.
I can't believe it. All right. Thank you all very much. There may be drinks.
All right. So I actually thought that was pretty hilarious and entertaining because the one thing is that I totally forgot I had this bottle of Jack Daniels myself. It actually is 40 proof. Actually, it's 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. I mean, don't want to lie here. I'm actually showing it up to the screen so everybody can see. And for those of you who are listening on audio, I think this is going to be entertaining. What's going on, Tuba Chat? Thank you for coming through. Hopefully you're going on and like as always. Greatly appreciate you. So one of the things is that I'm gonna bring up my screen again. So everybody keeps saying, well, what is a trademark? And they also want to know where to start. So the first thing that you want to do when you actually look for a trademark, you actually want to search. Now, searching for a trademark, I'm going to show you some search strategies that are directly from the USPTO because I mean, they are a government entity and unfortunately they cannot advertise. So you have me here and so many other people like me on the internet just really sharing this out. So one of the ways is that you can use USPTO. They actually have a search strategies here. So to use the let's use USPTO in quotations in the US Patent and Trademark Office as an example. So they saying search the exact words in the trademark. That's one way of doing it, which is by putting quotations around the word that you want. Or you can type in CM colon USPTO. These are actually some of the tips and tricks that a US like a trademark lawyer would use when they're researching your particular trademark. I know this is because I've been through a trademark person that did not work out well in my favor, mostly because I started off paying $3,000 up front. It was considered a retainer fee so that they can go down and start the process and going back and forth with the emails. So I'm being very transparent with the dollars here. Then I get an email saying like, "Hey, we need proof of concept and everything like that." And I was like, okay." I sent that during our first call. Then, you know, they was like, "Well, we need about $1,200 extra dollars." Now, keep in mind, for the sake of this, is not being sued or anything like that. So, not being held in contempt or anything like that, or this is not a legal battle at all. This is just my take on how everything went down, along with emails. I'm not going to go through all the emails here. It's not that important. But the fact of the matter is, they wanted some more money from the initial phone conversation. And I was like, no, I will continue on myself because I was thinking it's like $1,200 or something like that. I went on and contacted the USPTO office myself and said, hey, can you help me move this along? Because I had to separate from the lawyer. And they was like, yes, all you have to do is pay us, I think it was like $120. And I was like, cool, I have $120. Let me go down and pay that amount. And I was like, thank you so much for telling me what the cost is so that I can move forward with this process. And because I was able to pay that $120, I was able to edit everything to get my trademark moving forward. I was able to get everything cleaned up when I did it by myself. I will say within 4 months, I got the trademark. I did not order the piece of paper because they used to give it to you, but now they just kind of email saying, hey, you got it. But it's like $10 now for it. So I was like, nah, you can keep it. So anyway, but since then I was like, cool, now that I understand how this works, let me start digging in and try to help other people out to do their own trademark. Because one of the things that you want to understand is first off, how to search. The searching feature is very important when it comes to finding out your trademark. Because when you're actually looking for a name, pick anything. I don't know. Chicken noodles. And then you looking for chicken noodles, and then you realize that this isn't what I was looking for. So that's the problem. And I'm actually trying to find the website right now because I think they changed their search database a little bit. It used to be Tess, and it seems like they got rid of it because it was supposed to be. Oh, they did change it. So it's no longer Tess. It is actually, I'm going to share my screen now. So if you see here, well, actually you can't see, it's actually tmsearch.uspto.gov. And that's where you want to go to do your search for your trademark. Now, because I have mine, I can actually search here about that wallet. And obviously it says like 5,000 something results for about that wallet. But I am the first one. It's live and registered. So I have it set up for the different classes, which is talking about goods and services, which is talking about mugs, shirts, and hoodies. Now I have class 21 and 25, along with the serial number and everything like that. So this is nothing behind the scenes. This is all public information. Okay. So what I did was I trademarked the wording about that wallet, not the logo. So there's a difference. When you're actually going to apply for your trademark, you want to make sure that you're looking for which one of these things you want to trademark. You'll trademark the wording in one thing on its own, and then you have to put in another trademark for the logo. I cannot stress that enough. You'll find this even so many ways. Let's go on and check out what they have here for Jack Daniels, since we just heard about Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels. We'll just do Jack Daniels for now. So as you see, Jack Daniels is alive and well. They have it here in so many different ways and formats. So you're looking at like how they got alcoholic spirits. So they just did it per class. They broke it up. Every time they filed for something, they did a different class. They did their sauces, which is look like 030. They did another one where they talk about 033, and then they talk about another one for 043. So looking at restaurants and bars. And they even did the logo as well. As you notice, like how the logo is arched and everything like that. So you can actually dig into these to figure out a little bit more. The reason why I want to spend so much time on this part of the process is because this is the most important. This is part of your research. You need to make sure that you know which ones you're looking at. So they even talk about the filing date. The reason why this is important is because you can actually go out here and purchase the Jack Daniels trademark if they did not renew in time. So when they show that something is dead, that means you can actually go head on. Let me put this back in here. You can actually go head on and take over these if you want to. Now, let's see. I'm going to do it by a list. Let's do it this way. Because the reason why, like, see, somebody says dead next to it, you can actually go in and file for this particular class for this particular patent and actually say, like, hey, I want this one. And this one right here is talking about men's and boys' shoes, leather fabrics, and stuff like that. Now, keep in mind what the class is for. This is very important because whatever class that you have is the trademark that you can use it for. Think about it with Apple. Apple has a trademark for the audio. They have a trademark for computers and electronics as well, right? So let's share the screen. I'm gonna just bring up Apple. So they have it here. So like Apple, the computers, they got so many classes, so many things in Apple. But obviously, some people just don't know what they're doing. They're just kind of following and filling out things and like, okay, I think this looks cool. These are abandoned. These are abandoned ones. And you remember how Kanye West was doing Yeezys, right? I think it's called Yeezy. I don't even know how you spell it. Y-E. Give me a name. Give me something I can look up right quick. What's going on, people? What's going on? What's going on? Thank you for coming in, Dr. Sarah. Hey y'all, wording separate from the mark. Yes. Yes, it's very important to understand what's going on. I don't even know what Kanye West call this stuff. So you can actually refine it a little better. They changed their way how they did their searches. I guess they wanted to make it more user friendly. It is what it is. But either way, so we know how to search, right? So in order to do a search, you can do your own search. I'm gonna just go ahead on and put it in the chat so you guys can have it if you want to do your own search. If you guys are on your computers, go ahead on and have fun. All right, so now that we understand how to search for one, we understand the proper terminology you need to look for, the proper way to what codes and everything like that that the USPTO put in there. Now the next thing is, how do we go through the process? What are the step by steps? Now, keep in mind the rules and laws change state to state. This is just a generic overview, okay? So you did your search and you can hire attorney if you want to. If you want to go to a hire attorney route, that's fine. However, it's always good to educate yourself a little bit about the process before you hire somebody to do the work. Think about it. You want to work harder first before you work smarter. The reason why, because you want to understand the process. Now, keep in mind, I'm a do it yourselfer. So, yes, I will try my best before I hire somebody else. But because I did try to hire somebody else first, they got over on me because I had no clue on what to do. They were taking it bare bones. I went to the lawyer, like, hey, I just want to trademark this. And I didn't have anything. So that's one of the things that cost me money because I was ignorant to the process. Now, I want to make sure that you're not ignorant. And I know some of you who are listening right now or watching or even commented have a business and you want to get yourself started. So, the second thing is that you want to start looking at the filing usage. There are two things and two forms you need to file when you're actually filing your trademark. There is a 1A form and a 1B form. The 1A form meaning that you have already filed, you already have something in place. You already have a proof of concept, or you have like an item already and it's been sold at least one time. For me at the time, what people had purchased from me were a hoodie and I had mugs and stuff like that. So I already had that stuff that I could take a picture of and send them screenshots to say, like, hey, this is what I have. You guys can go ahead on and start doing that process. The second thing is that, well, really, the third thing that you want to do is the intent of use. You want to make sure that the phrase is very plain and something easy to follow. So, what I mean by that, you want to look at something that is saying, if you are doing, like I said, t shirts, you can say, hey, these are going to be cotton, short sleeve, black, some t-shirts. You can throw in as many details as you want. I just kept it vague and said t-shirts. Some people could just say, hey, they just want to do pants. You can do pants. Or if you just want to do hoodies or tank tops, whatever. So I just want to keep that in mind, that that is possible. You can do that too. It's okay. But you might get denied because it depends on your product name and where you're putting it. Make sure that there are no other competition with that product name. So when I spelled Yeezy wrong, Yeezy, only like two things showed up. However, I can go back and be like, okay, well, what class are they for? It's alive and registered. I don't know what Yeezy got in here. Let's see. Right now, oh, geez. Foot spa. I'm not going to say the first. Yeah, I can say it. Keep close your ears, kids. This is mostly look like for adult entertainment toys and massagers and everything like that. Okay. Um, yeah, so you can actually patent that too. So I did not know that this was a thing. Let me go ahead on and share my screen so y'all can see. So yeah, everything can be trademarked here, it seems like. Yeah, so we looking at adult content that can be an apparatus, an electric massage apparatus for household use. We looking at electric massage appliances, namely electronic vibrating massager, massage apparatus and instruments. So this one class is holding, and this is what I'm saying, you need to put in everything that you want your goods and services to be to make sure that you're actually in there. I did not know. I totally forgot that you can massage these massage these things. I totally forgot that you can trademark these things. But hey, this is their name. They call themselves Yeezy. This is the serial number. The filing date was in 2020, so during the pandemic. The registered date, it took 2 years to finally come through. And remember, I said 1A or 1B. This is where we're talking about. These are your current filing bases. 1A means it's actually been sold and you can show proof of concept. Your register number, you actually get this number once it's fully registered. They even show you the owner. So the owner right now is, I don't even know, Chenamping Trading Company, LLC, located in China. So they even tell you what floor they're on. All right. So because they actually filed for this, we have to wait until they drop that trademark, and then somebody else can go right behind them and purchase it. All right. So now that you know how to read this, we went to the page, we look for the search. We got to create an account. So I'm going to show you, this is what it looks like once you signed in. You can see my name right up here. So I have my account. And the cool thing is that once you have your account, they'll give you like little modules you can create and stuff like that. So these are the alerts. And so they'll show you your collection, your trademark docket. This is where you have all your information. And so I have the full R. So one of the things is that a lot of people don't know is that when you go to first file your paperwork, they'll allow you to put TM, which is the trademark option, which means that it's okay to put your TM because it's still under review. Once it goes through review, then it will say, hey, now you're fully registered. You can put the R on all your stuff. Now they'll show the expansion and so forth. Okay. What else? Search trademarks, file trademarks. We can go with the file. So I'm gonna just walk you through these files. The reason why I'm going through their website, because I want to educate you all. Make sure you're good. All right. So they're talking about a first timer. Go through the basics information before you filing. And they have like a nice little pizza set up. That's really cool, right? Isn't it? So let's see. They have an event series. They have a little boot camp. They got their webpage. They're looking for like strong trademarks. Do you need an attorney? We talked about those. So you can do these yourself. Remember, this is for educational purposes only. And then also preparing the file. So these are the things you're going to need to file. So we already said search for similar trademarks. We already talked about that. The application requirements. Here we go. Thank you all for sticking with me as we go through these. For those of you who are listening on audio side of the house, I'm actually at uspto.gov/trademark/basics/applications-requirements. So, and for those of you who are live right now, I want to make sure that you all have this information so that you can go ahead on and look at the trademarks yourself as well. So the trademark application. Hey, what's going on, Carla? Thank you for making it. What it do? Oh yeah. Sorry if that was too loud for some people, but we in there. So the application becomes public record. Now keep in mind, when you're actually filing for these applications, you want to make sure that it's either inside your LLC name or put inside some other form of location. Now keep in mind, it has to be in a US territory, or if it is outside, you have to fill out a different form for that. I would say talk to your trademark representative. They will assign you one as you're filling out your application. So just wanted to let you know that. Let's see, you can apply character trademark, blah, blah. We talked about this already. Identify the classes. We talked about that. Now this one is interesting because I'll have to say this is my takeaway is that it's very important to understand what the trademark ID manual is. The main reason is because this will help you out with your classes. So let's say the master list, what I want to do is broadcast. Because the next time I want to fill out a trademark is that I want to go through the class for broadcasting for the About That Wallet podcast show. The reason why I want to do that is so that nobody else will trademark it. And also I'll have the first right of use of passage. So if somebody else try to trademark it, more than likely I'll get notified and then I can deny it. Say like, hey, I actually own the show. And with that, I will more than likely go with here, which is saying like, hey, I'm doing namely may do 41, maybe 38 will be pushing it. Because it's mostly like radio and cable and stuff like that. But for me, since I'm doing entertainment, I would probably more than likely do 41. And you know what? I might just do 41 and 38 as a class, mostly because I want to be covered just in case I do transition to radio or TV and I'm fully covered. Now, some of these are fully labeled in. So, this is a good search to have, which is the master list. This is very important before you even file your classes. So, please, 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 I'm going to say this one more time. Please look at your classes before you file. I cannot stress that enough because if you don't, it's a lot of back and forth between you and your trademark officer that you're assigned to make sure you get this. Now that you have that, you know about the filer. Now we can look at the form. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is a lot of reading, you guys. So again, trademarks are nothing to play with. These things you want to make sure you're very thorough with these and making sure you're reading all the fine print. However, you can skip through and see they already tell you how much it is per class, right? So if somebody up here trying to say, well, we charge $300 per class, which means that you got to ask them, is it a fee on top of the USPTO fee or is it complete combined per class? Now, that is a very important question when you go to talk to somebody about the trademark process. And if this is an attorney, the attorney will fill out because the attorney will go into the same portal, fill out the same information, and they'll just say, hey, I'm filling this on behalf of so and so company. And you actually will see that inside your final form once it get approved and let it go. Now, keep in mind, this video and this audio and stuff like that I'm sharing right now is a little bit more detailed than anybody else that I've seen. Far as these short form videos, like 20 minutes or so, I just want to make sure that you guys are fully vetted and understood. All right, so we're gonna say I'm gonna try to go as far as I can without actually like completing it. So this one they say is a plus to reduce fee, failure to comply with requirements, additional fee $100 for goods, class of goods and services. So this is just the goods and services. Say continue. Okay. The owner of the mark. This right here. So this is one of the things that I said. Remember, keep in mind these are public and are searchable. You can put your name here. So I can put my name. Stop sharing. We'll put y'all on a different tab right quick. And then come back to this one. All right. Let's see about that one. See if I can disable this now. Okay. All right. So I have my name and I say I'm doing this as about that wallet because I can. It's my business. And then I can say, hey, I'm doing this as an individual. Now, as an individual, they'll tell you what country and jurisdiction. Just say the US. We're going to go to the internal address. I don't know what they mean by internal address. Let's click and find out. And the internal address is the internal address of the person whom correspondence should be addressed. No, it's fine. So you get your mailing address, your city, your state, country, zip code, your domicile address. Now, this one is important because you want to make sure that in most cases, PO Box care of address or similar variations is not acceptable as domicile address. So you cannot use your PO boxes to fill these out. Okay. You need to make sure you put in a street address that you put in here. Uncheck the box if you're the trademark owner and not the same. So that means that if the lawyer was filling this out, they will uncheck this because they are the ones filling out the form and so forth. And then you hit continue. Oh gosh. All right. You know what? Fill this out on your own. It's very easy though. It's really straightforward, and then you can go through your goods and services and so forth. Let me go back, share this page here. Give me a name that you guys want to look up, because I think for the most part, this is once you go through the form. Like I said, they assign you somebody, and it's just really back and forth. It's really light work once you get that done. And just keep in mind, keep it for your emails and so forth. But now that you know that process, I'm going to go ahead on and teach you how to do this easy. One of the people that I've interviewed on my podcast actually talked about this. Let's see. Good topic, bro. Thank you. So, one of the things is, what is his name? What is his name? It's Tebow. About that wallet. Yes. So we talked about this.
So I think definitely.
Let me see if I can skip through.
Okay, it's the business, and it's like, wow, that's a lot to take on. So one of the things I did recently, I mentioned it took 3 hours to do that logo work.
Yeah.
I've been able to actually go on like Fiverr and say, hey, here's a logo they've given me. Please turn this into an SVG. And that
2 years ago, it's been a while. They send me emailers in magazines, but I always toss them. But I'll do an overlay of what the actual thing is called.
Okay.
But they did have a machine there and talking about solving problems. And we, all right, I forgot. Maybe that might be.
Basically something that's really healthy. New experience.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, this was a long time ago. I mean, as you can hear, the audio was a lot different, a lot more echoey. And this was actually done 2 years ago. Wow. So one of the websites that we talked about was Trademark Engine. They do not have a sponsorship or anything like that. They are not a Trademark Engine. They are not an affiliate of the show or anything like that, but I do like what they have to offer. And like, again, remember I told you how to work harder. Now you can work smarter. I really like them as a resource, and their services is that I really like is that they have a free trade search. And inside the free trade search, I always look myself up. See about that wallet. And it's nice and easy to use. And as you see, I can see that it shows the statements, what classifications I'm in, the US classes that I have for the thing. You can see when I first used was August 28th, 2020. Thank you for the person who ordered some merch from me back in 2020. I greatly appreciate it. And it also talks about how I had back and forth. So if you ever want to send me some gifts or whatever, you can always send it to my PO box at 1877 Clinton, Maryland 20735. So I'm actually searchable, so you can look it up, and it will actually tell you all the back and forth. So remember when I was saying it's a lot of back and forth if you don't have your paperwork properly. It's all here. So all of this stuff is public information. And so they were talking about when I first filed it, this was with the attorney back in 2021. And then again, September 21. Then we went through 2022 because I was actually going back and forth on like, hey, the attorney received something and then they wanted to file an extension. And I had to file an extension because I didn't know what was going on or how to do things. And I think it was like you can do up to 3 extensions for free. So while you're trying to go through your process, it's a lot of things that if you're not familiar with, because I had no clue and I was learning on the fly while going to work, while doing a podcast, this stuff was a lot and trying to read up on this information. So then I was like, you know what? I think I got it right. Let's go forward. I approve it. And then I had fully registered on October 23rd, 2023. So it's coming up on 1 year since I've been registered as the About That Wallet podcast. I mean, as the About That Wallet for my registered trademark. So I wanted to share my story, share my issues that I had, and also ways to help you when you on your journey to start doing your trademark. This thing is very important and very great for taking your business to that next level, because ultimately what we want to do as our business owners is actually either A, sell your business, give your business away, not give it away, sell your business, or try to pass it down to the next generation. And when it comes to passing things to the next generation, got to make sure that they actually really want to take on the business. But how many mom and pop shops don't even uh are not even around anymore because their children just like, you know what, it's too much. I don't want to do it. Thank you, mom and dad, but this isn't what I went to school for. This isn't what you wanted me to do with my life after you spent all your time and money and hard earned energy to go to school for. So you got to think about that. And when it comes to trademarks, when you bind these businesses or even looking to sell your business, you want to make sure that you are have systems in place. You do have that trademark or patent if you're doing patents. And if you ever notice when you actually work at a job and you create something that's a patent, that business owns that patent. Your name won't even be listed on the patent. Maybe it could be listed like somewhere else, but you are not the owner of that patent. The business that you work for is the owner of that patent. So think about that when you're out here working for other people or you coming up with something cool and you're not being careful. As you saw how quickly it is just to fill out a form, it could take, even though it could take a year or even 6 months to go through a file to full completion or registration, a patent is a lot more. That's a different process. So once I go through that process, I'll definitely be back to talk about the patent process. And everything that I've talked about on the show is something that I've experienced personally one on one, or I know somebody that's been through it and I've actually tried it out. It just didn't work out for me. So I want to continue on to bring this information to you so that you are successful in whatever you do. Again, I just want to thank you all for being here today. This one is a little shorter than normal, but I think I run its course when it comes to doing the trademark. If you learned anything and feel as though this is something that'll be beneficial to you later on or to somebody else to research later, go ahead on and like and subscribe and go on and continue to share the show. I greatly appreciate all of you. I'm so close to 500 subscribers. I think I'm down by 13 right now. So if you got a friend that actually enjoyed the show, go ahead on and just tell them to subscribe. Get me up to 500. And also I'll be talking because of all of you guys' great work here and actually supporting the show. I have to say that it has opened up so many doors for me that I'm actually able to be speaking at so many conferences. I'm able to speak at a conference in DC next month. So if you guys ever want to kind of hang out, that'll be cool. I actually join my newsletter because I will post up in there if you guys are interested in joining. And I can actually give you $50 off on your ticket to Podcast Movement. So if you want to check it out, podcastmovement.com. And if you want to go on and get your ticket, let's see, I'm gonna get the code here. I know I usually have these ready, but I didn't think I was going to talk about it today. But I want to make sure that you have it. So when you go to sign up, you can actually come on through and get $50 off. So your code to get $50 off of your podcast movement ticket is P as in Paul, M as in mansion, 2, 4, S as in Sierra, A as in Alpha, W as in wallet, A as in Alpha, and a number 5. And I'll put that inside the chat as well so that you all will have it. If you ever want to join me, it takes $50 off your ticket and can't lose. All right, everybody. Y'all be safe. Mute. Peace. Oh, and also, if you guys have any questions, you can always go to aboutthatwallet.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom, click on leave a voice note, and I look forward to hearing your questions or even just saying, hey, Anthony, I like what you got going on, sir. And I was like, hey, I enjoy it. So if you want to do that, that's cool too. All right, everybody. I'm out. Peace. What if I'm outro? Can I find my outro with this thing? There we go.